Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Trust the Process again, and I'm here to talk to you today about why 9 to 5 save lives. And I know you know, the conception out now is that 9 to 5 jobs are not cool. Women want to date a guy that has a 9 to 5, blah, 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 blah. And guys are listening to it. First of all, guys, don't listen to women that talk like that. Focus on your grind. Become a man on a mission. That's first thing. Have tunnel vision. Focus on the goal and focus on what you want to achieve. And through that, you have to achieve. You have to do hard work. You have to have focus. You have to have a mindset of a man on a mission. Now, 9 to 5 does in fact save lives because 9 to 5, working a 9 to 5 actually teaches you how to be a boss, right? When you are a hard worker, you are a worker that show up on time, works hard, does his job, and does his job really well. Guess what? When you get that promotion, you're promoted to getting an extra level of responsibility, and with that comes more money. And everything starts off with a process, right? You just don't become the boss instantly. And people have this weird notion where, if you're rich, if you're born into money, you instantly inherited the business. That's not necessarily true. Because in order for you to inherit the business that your quote unquote parents or relative left you, you gotta understand the business first before you take the reins. And working as an employee, you're understanding that working a 9 to 5 helps you to understand what it takes to not only be a hard worker, not only be a guy that has a good work ethic, but also teaches you the understanding in a way that people don't pay attention to on how to be a boss. Because it takes time and effort, right, to be a manager of anything. And the managers at first started off as an employee, and they had to build and work themselves up into that position. It wasn't just, I applied and I want to be a manager right then and there. Absolutely not. Managers also had to start off at the same position that you started off. Now, when it comes to 9 to 5 job, it keeps you afloat. It's consistent income, right? It keeps you afloat and it keeps you above water. And that's one of the key benefits. That's one of the main benefits of a 9 to 5 job. You don't want to be an unemployed shooter, a guy who has no job begging around the street. Because what happens is you got to resort into unnecessary means just to get a little bit of money, which results in you doing crime or whatever. And guess what happens when you do crime? You end up, either dead because the criminal attempt that you try to do failed, or you end up in jail where you get your manhood taken because, again, your criminal activities failed once again. And also a 9 to 5 teaches, especially young men, you can make your own money. It teaches you self-efficiency, right? And independence. It teaches you how to be self-sufficient and independent. You make your own money. Now, you're completely responsible for whatever you do with the money. But it teaches you the value of hard work. It's passable. It's consistent income. And also it teaches you, if you pay close attention, how to be a boss. Because when you are a hard worker, hard work pays off. And guess what happens? You get promoted, right? Once you be promoted up the ladder, up the corporate ladder, right? you learn how to be a manager once they put you in that position because of your merit. Now, you cannot do any of that when you are unemployed, or worse, an unemployed shooter, because an unemployed shooter relies on the income of another dude, while 9 to 5, right? What you make is solely what you earn, and what you work for is solely responsible on you, especially a job that works by the hour. So for example, if you're working at Walmart and you're making $16 an hour, right? But you decide you only want to work 2 hours every day a week, while the next guy works 10, guess what happens? The next guy that's getting 10 hours is reaping the benefits because he's going out there and he's grinding. He's putting in that work. He's doing whatever it takes to make the most out of the 9 to 5 job. He's not trying to be an unemployed shooter where he end up, end up either dead in a coffin or end up in jail where he got to be face down and butt in the air for another dude to take his manhood. No. It saves lives because it keeps you on a 9 to 5 job. Saves lives. It keeps you on a straight and narrow. It keeps you above water. It keeps you afloat. It's consistent income, right? And it teaches you low-key how to be a boss when you are a hard worker, and they give you a promotion because you've shown that you have the capabilities of wanting more, right? And while you're doing that, you can use your 9 to 5 job to fundraise all the other side gigs that you got, right? The small businesses, the side hustles, whatever you got going on, you can use your money from the 9 to 5 job and fundraise anything else that you want to do. And that's the thing, because people are going to be told, oh, 9 to 5 job is not cool. They'll show you on social media and all this other stuff. Oh, 9 to 5 job not cool. And you have women distract men that says, oh, I wouldn't date a guy with a 9 to 5. Men out there who watching this, who listen to this, don't stay away from those type of women, right? Stay away from all of that distracting nonsense. You have to have tunnel vision. You see the goal, you see what you want to achieve, you block out all the noise, and you go to work, and you work like you're a man on a mission, and trust the process. Thank you for watching.